single time you're aligned with your values, you feel it. You feel more authentic. When I do this Better Man Club thing, I feel authentic, right? If I didn't feel authentic, I wouldn't do this. I want to help guys out. I want to make more friends. I want to build my social network. I want to improve my leadership abilities, my public speaking abilities. All these things are aligned with me. When they say follow your bliss, do what you love, this is what they're talking about. Follow your values. So back to getting your mind right, part 1. We're going to talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness, this is a nice little picture we have right here.
I've seen that before.
Yeah? That's something like our brains are most of the time, right? We're thinking about what happened yesterday, what's going to happen in 5 minutes. Oh, this meeting's taking too long. Oh, I'm hungry. We're not here, right? What we want to achieve, if we want to be in a nice centered place emotionally and to kind of see the world without that fog, is to be in this place. We want it to be mindful. We don't want the mind to be full. We want it to be mindful. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what exactly mindfulness is, but I'm going to go more in depth into it. I'm going to give you some definitions of mindfulness. There is no way to define mindfulness by itself because it's obviously a subjective experience, but we can point to it according to different definitions. Number 1, it says, it is the gentle effort to be continuously present with experience. It means paying attention in a particular way on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally. Mindfulness is deliberately paying attention to what is happening around you and within you, in your body, your heart, and your mind. You guys see a pattern here, right? It's something that you're doing on purpose. It's something that you're deliberately doing, right? I'm going to do a little quick exercise that I did with the guys the first week. I want you guys to try and think about your next thought. All right? So right now, go ahead and try to think about what your next thought is going to be. What happens?
Nothing.
Stops. Your thinking stops, right? Why do you think your thinking stopped?
You're trying to think of what you're going to think of next.
Exactly. But what that means is that you're putting awareness. You're putting your attention onto your thoughts. And once you shine that light, thoughts stop. You're like, wait, what's my next thought? Right? But most of the time, we're not paying attention to our thoughts. It's just running wild with these silly thoughts that we have that are making us anxious, nervous, not present to the moment, right? So what we want to do is, by putting our attention towards what we're doing, then everything stops and you're here. You're living in the present moment, right? That's what everybody tells you to do, but we don't know how to do it. They don't really tell you what does it mean to live in the present moment, to appreciate the moment because it's a gift, right? So on the first meeting, I also talked about our inherited dysfunction. The human mind is naturally dysfunctional, and by that I mean that it is in a state of a constant unhappiness. For those of you who study Buddhism, this is called, the Buddha calls it the first noble truth, right? And in the Sanskrit word is dukkha. It contains not only the ordinary meaning of suffering, but also includes the deeper ideas such as imperfection, pain, impermanence, disharmony, discomfort, irritation, or awareness of incompleteness and insufficiency, right? So we're feeling one of these things at all times, right? We might feel hungry. We might be sad that, one of our grandparents just passed away. Impermanence. Imperfection. You see yourself in the mirror. You don't see the muscles that you want to see, right? You're unhappy. We have so many sources to be unhappy from, right? And we are not okay with it. That's the main problem. We are not okay with it. So when we're thinking about all these things, we are not present. We are not right here. When we're not present, it makes us feel vaguely but persistently dissatisfied. This sense of dissatisfaction, of a gap between us and everything else and everyone else, is the essential problem of human life. It leads to those moments when we are pierced with a feeling of deep doubt and loneliness. And of course, we try to soothe this pain without you guys don't even know it, not even knowing it. We use common remedies for this, this kind of like very subtle pain that we have inside of ourselves. So we use food, we use drugs, we use sex, we use alcohol, we use Netflix, we use Instagram. All these things that are, entertainment and whatnot, they have a purpose. And it's amazing. I mean, I love going to the movies and watching Transformers 4, Muppets Reloaded. I don't know, there's so many movies out there that are cool, right? And
You just made up a movie.
yeah, it's like Muppets Most Wanted, actually. Yeah, it just came out. So
Nice, I like how you know that.
I'm not saying these things are bad for you,
It was good.
right? I'm not saying shopping, gambling, social media are bad for you, but most of the time we're using it to soothe our pain, right? Because we're not happy with what is going right now. So we go back and we try to find that food is gonna soothe us at least for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? Or just being lost in Instagram. It's much easier than just being in the present moment. So that is something that we have had to deal with for thousands of years. This is nothing new, but I want to just bring it to your awareness because a lot of people are not aware of these things. So what are some of the benefits of mindfulness? Some of the benefits are reduced rumination. Rumination means that our brains are constantly thinking, constantly compulsively focused on the symptoms of one's distress, right? We're constantly focused on what makes us feel bad, as opposed to the solutions and how to solve that. Reduce stress, more calm. Lots of research studies have shown that we're like anxiety-free, less depression on people who go and do these retreats or you do just meditation for a certain period of time. There's a boost to working memory. Before starting meditating, I would grab one of these books and I would try to read. And I don't know if it happens to you guys, but you just get lost all over the page. Especially if it's something that doesn't really, resonate with you, doesn't really entertain you. Well, after meditating for a while, I've been meditating for about 3-4 years now. It helps you kind of stay there and you're just like getting lost in the book, as opposed to you being like, wait, what? What? Or like doze off. You're not even aware that it's going on. It's insane. So it helps you with your working memory. It also helps you with your focus. Studies have shown how mindfulness meditation affected participants' ability to focus attention and suppress distracted information, right? Also, what meditation does and mindfulness does is it allows you to stay here and allows you to not be thinking about things that could potentially affect your emotional state. So if you really think about it, it's like a bulletproof vest for your emotions. So I'm up here, right? And let's say I'm thinking, oh my God, what is Clayton thinking about me? Oh, what is Matthew thinking about me? Am I being interesting enough? If I'm having these thoughts and I'm not able to control them, or I'm not too confident in my ability to express myself, then, I'm going to go in a downward spiral and start feeling those emotions, and I'm going to feed that back to you. But if I'm able to control my thoughts, which meditation allows you to do, then it'll be much easier to just go in that flow state. It helps you enter into that flow state in any activity you're doing during the day. Less emotional reactivity, what I just mentioned right now, and relationship satisfaction. I think this one's huge. It's very hard to have a good relationship with someone if you're not happy yourself. It's incredibly hard, right? And most of the time you're not even aware of this because you're not even have enough mental capacity to realize that you're coming across as mean or being kind of like a dick to your friend. But you're just so caught up in your brain that you don't even realize it. Or to your parents, you realize that it has become so autopilot to be distant with them that you don't realize that you're being distant with them. And all these things can be pointed to this inherited dysfunction and also not being present. Once you're mindful, I'm able to appreciate people more for what they are.
I'll tip off on that a little bit. Just in a general sense, I mean, it's common sense really. I'm reading a little bit right now, one chapter I'm reading. The 5 people you're around the most, it's basically, reflection of you. So if you're the person who constantly is not liking your friends or people around you, those people who like, I can't stand fake people and this and that, more times than not, you're not liking them, you're probably not liking yourself. So it's the mindful thing, you're not really aware. If you have a good group of friends and they're all the same even flow of, just happiness and go with the flow, more times than you will be too. But if you can't be on the negative track, if you can't really disengage yourself from the negative people in your life, then you're not really going to make yourself better or your life better. It's going to keep on going to that continuous flow.
Yes, that is very powerful, especially because we literally feed off each other. The way I'm expressing myself right now, even in ways that you guys don't realize, it's affecting you. When Matt is here and he's with his enthusiasm, you guys are laughing, right? When Juan is here and he's, displaying his confidence, Matt and Alex, they're, feeding off this good energy. You guys leave refreshed. If I'm here and I start talking about something controversial like abortion, and I'm, deeply pro-life or pro-choice, right? And I'm like, no, you guys are wrong. You guys are not, you shouldn't be pro-choice, right? And I'm giving this aggressive, negative vibe. You guys are going to feed off of that, right? So the whole purpose here is to build a good vibe between us. And mindfulness allows you to do that. So how do we go about doing it? There are many ways to practice mindfulness. One of the most common ones is meditation. And that deserves its own whole chapter for another day, which I'm going to go into probably next week. But I want to give you guys 3 simple ways to start doing it today. Keep yourself anchored to your breath at all times. Just try, how many times do I go and start thinking in my head from here till I walk to the car? And you're going to notice that you get lost in your head many times because you're just not used to going back to your breath. But that's one of the easiest ways because you're always doing it.
Oh, yeah, one thing to keep in mind, when you're in like a stressed out fight or flight state, you're going to start breathing very shallowly. And so if you catch yourself throughout the day where you're either almost like out of breath because you haven't been breathing, or you've only been breathing very shallowly and not actually taking in that oxygen that your body needs, if you've been in that state like consistently throughout your day and you notice that, then that's a good sign that it's time to like take a step back, take some deep breaths down into your stomach, and then regroup. I've been noticing that I've been relatively busy and stressed out lately, and that's one of the things that I've been noticing is like, holy crap, like I'm out of breath right now. And I haven't been doing anything, but it's just because I haven't been breathing.
I agree.
So that's
100%.
one way to be more mindful of how your breath is, and that's a good indicator of your state.
That is very key, actually. Your breath, the way you're breathing, it communicates to your emotions what you should be feeling, right? So the moment that I'm like, what are you communicating to your breath? You're literally sending a signal to your organism. It's like, oh, this guy is relaxed. But the moment that you're like, this guy is not relaxed.
That's crazy, isn't it? I'm
It's
trying it
crazy.
right now, and it's like, I'm
Yeah.
literally just breathing slower and taking deeper breaths, and I feel like completely listening to him. Like
It's
Wow.
insane. It's really crazy. You could take this to anything. Conversation, paying attention to someone you're talking to. It's like if you're just like, I'm here with you. It's very, very powerful. That's one of the things, and you can use it for any situation because you're breathing at all times, right? Another one that is very key that I've been practicing for maybe 2-3 weeks now is paying attention to your sense perceptions, right? So when you're driving the car, feel the steering wheel. When you're sitting right now in your chairs, what does it feel to be sitting down? Like if you put attention to your butt, you feel it, right? But you didn't even realize it. What does it feel like what does the soles of the feet on the floor feel like right now, right? Right? You start putting more attention into what is right now as opposed to your thoughts.